looking unto Jesus. Awesome verse. Thank you for joining. Excuse me. Sorry for my voice there. My name is Lewis. This is our daily encouragement channel. If you've been watching our channel, you know that basically we go and take a verse or two and try and do our best to provide you an encouragement for the day, something to hold on to and hopefully help you to move forward. Yesterday, I did my remote access, trying to do something different. I wasn't trying. I was at work on campus and had to walk between buildings, and there was enough time to record a video, so it worked out really well. But today, I'm back at my normal recording studio. We're going to continue on with the passage we talked about yesterday, which was Hebrews 12:1 yesterday. We said, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us." Today we're going to verse 2, "Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God." Now, I really, really like this verse, but what we have to do is kind of go back a little bit to what we talked about in the previous video. In 12:1, there's a wherefore. And what we discussed was that chapter 11 was known as the Hall of Faith. It was a discussion in letter form, of course, but it was a discussion of how God worked through people and basically displayed their faith. And it talked about what was the result of them putting their faith and trust in God. And there were great examples, and maybe that'll be something down the line that we could look at. Actually, I won't say maybe, will be, as long as this opportunity still exists to record these, that we'll go through and talk about each of the people in each of the stories that's referenced. I think it'll be a cool little piece. But as we think of that verse, we think of the idea of it's a race. Let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Now, what we're being told is what to focus on. Now, I know that I mentioned in the video that this weekend there's a race going on here locally. It's known as the Double Bridge Run, and there are a couple bridges that the people will run over and do as part of this a challenge of a race. And the end goal, obviously, is to finish the race. Now, how long you run for, or like how you get through the race, that's up to you. That's your individual goal. But you have a goal. You have a focus point, something that's going to drive you and motivate you as you go through. And that motivation is going to start while you're training for it, while you're running it, and hopefully while you're trying to finish it. And it's that goal, that target, that's going to motivate you. I know of some runners that the thrill of the run itself. I know others where they're doing it because it was a goal to get to it. There was another goal where it's to have a faster run than they did the last year that they did it. Whatever it is that your goal is, that's your motivation, that's your drive. Verse 1, we're told to run, and we're told to run our race. Now, what's our focus? We're told how to run it. It says, we've got people around us watching. We've got how to run where it comes to don't have the weight on you, don't have the sin that slows you down in your race. Run with patience. Know that you're going to get through this race. It's going to come. But now it says looking unto Jesus, and it's telling us what our focus should be. When you are like I've got a long drive I'm going to be doing this coming week to go actually go out of town. And when I go and make that drive, my end goal is going to be getting to the location and everything that we're going to be doing while we're at that location. But there are times where it can be intimidating. It can be like, oh, it's a long drive. Or, oh man, I've got people in the car. What are they going to be like? Or, oh man, is it going to be good weather? And it's easy to just get so caught up in all the side things around. When you're running your race of life, when you're going and doing your best, there are things that are going to distract you. There are things that are going to haunt you. There are things that are going to slow you down, or at least try to. And this verse tells us that our focus should be looking unto Jesus. It's a good focus. Now tell us about him. Well, the verse says it will. He's the author and finisher of our faith. The creator, if you think about it, the author. If you've ever written something, you've written a letter, you've written a book, or anything in between, you're the author. Came up with the idea, you put it on paper, you described what are the steps involved to get from page 1 to page end, and you drew the tapestry, so to speak, and you created the story. He's the author and the finisher. So he not only created the story, he was the piece that was necessary to finish it. If you've ever done a jigsaw puzzle and you are looking for that last piece to finish the puzzle, there's a comfort, there's a joy, there's a requirement in order for that puzzle to be finished to have that last piece. When it comes to salvation, our faith, we needed someone to take the penalty for our sin. We needed someone to pay the price. The wages of sin is death, if you remember from our Romans Road series. So that wage, that payment, we needed somebody to do it. He did it. He was the finisher of our faith. Now I want you to look at this next part, because this is the biggest contradiction to me. Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame. Those three pieces together do not work for me. To have joy in front of you, and then to mention two of the worst possible things when it comes to making that payment. It says he endured the cross. Now, we don't have a bunch of time, and I'm not going to sit here and try to do this in this short daily devotional thought of the day kind of thing to try to discuss the cross. That may require something in and of itself. But if you picture the cross, there's a sacrifice that came to it. It's the pain of death. Remember, it also says despising the shame. If you read any of the accounts in the Bible about Jesus and the crucifixion, when he dies on the cross, nothing about it says happiness. Nothing about it says joy. Nothing about it is good, except the end result, which means an opportunity in heaven for you and me. And that's the joy. Remember that. That's the most crucial piece, is that, yes, he died on a cross. But what really was involved with it? He was God. He shouldn't have had to do that. If we did what we were supposed to do, he shouldn't have had to die. But the problem is we're born sinners. We sin. So because of that, we needed a Savior. So the joy that was set before him was going to be the end result, that the creation he made would have the opportunity to be in heaven. And then take note, while he made the sacrifice, the end of verse 2 says, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God, meaning he is not dead. He conquered death. He was victorious. There's a home in heaven waiting for you and I that are Christians, that have put our faith and trust in Jesus, because he endured the cross. He despised the shame, and he sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. That, my friends, is joy. That, my friends, should be your focus as you run the race of life. You're going through a difficult time. You're going through agony. You're going through pain. The Savior is taking joy in his suffering so that you could have a home in heaven. And the things of this earth that we go through are temporary. When you consider we're going to have a home in heaven for all eternity. That, my friends, should be your daily joy. That should be your daily encouragement. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully it's been an encouragement to you. Until the next time, have yourself a wonderful day and God bless.